Good evening, beautiful people. I'm with the lovely Belinda Chu and Stephen Bubalo.
Hello again. Good to see you all.
What are we talking about tonight? Novak News.
Mate, we've got a lot of good things to talk about. One was this great new concept that we unveiled called the tenant bus. I guess we're calling it
The tenant tour bus.
Tenant tour bus. We're also going to talk a little bit about agents and buyers agents and what their roles are within this industry. And probably just wrap up with a quick breakdown of just how the auctions finished up for the week last week, coming out of this long weekend as well.
And the Grand Poo Bar doing deals also on social media.
Sorry, I forgot about that. Yes, the power of social.
Massive.
Tonight we're on social, so the power of social couldn't be more relevant.
What did you say, Michael?
Can't hear anything on Insta.
On Insta?
No sound on Insta.
Okay. So, Steve, tell us about. Let's go into your favourite,
The bus.
the bus.
The bus. So great idea. I don't know how long ago did you have this idea, Mark, to do a bus?
2 days.
2 days ago. And basically what it is, the concept behind it is that everyone will know if you're a tenant or you're a buyer in real estate world, as agents, we all talk to each other before the weekend and then we put every property on it at exactly the same time to make it hard for you to come out and look at everything. So what we've done, well, what Mark came up with was a great idea, and basically what we're doing here at Novak Properties is we're all about convenience for our clients, and we know that this will translate into results for our landlords. Is we have now got a bus running. You simply call in, book in your spot, and we will drive you around to 10 or 15 rental properties. You don't need to find a park. You don't have to worry about running late to anything.
Don't have to get to the wrong property at the wrong time because we're going to take you
That's
all
a good
there.
point. That's a really good point.
And you
There's
can
zero
pick up a
mistake.
coffee just before you get on the bus
Get a
as
coffee,
well.
get on the bus. Absolutely, behind us you can get a coffee.
So the idea is we're sticking to two-bedders, we're sticking to DY, and if you just want to make life easy for yourself, we'll show you 10 in 2 hours. Choose one, you're done.
Yep.
Nice and easy for you.
And we've got all the keys as well, so you don't have to worry about an agent turning up without no keys.
Yeah, that's right. And so last week was a great success. We're rolling it out again this week. We're thinking about a four-week trial, but the way it started, it's running, so it looks like a good thing. A Facebook event will be set up tomorrow. You can log in from that point. You can book your space from that point. We've only got 12 seats, so book in on that, guys, for sure.
Yeah, great idea. Great idea. Love to see it.
Now, another one I wanted to have a chat about was my daughter actually brought it up. She asked the difference between a buyer's agent and the difference between a real estate agent. She was a little bit confused because she said, don't you both act for buyers? Let's talk about that. Belinda?
Well, you do get a lot of buyers agents coming to look at commercial properties too.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So, but I guess the main thing is really, as a real estate agent, if we take on a listing for a vendor, they are who we work for. We are the vendor's agent. Of course, we're out there to seek buyers as well, but ultimately, the buyer's agent is there to negotiate a price for the buyer, and we're really there working hard for the best price for the vendor.
Big time. Big time. And I also like the fact that a real estate agent with buyers really has to represent maybe 1,000 buyers in all different price ranges, but a buyer's agent really just focuses on, they probably have no more than a dozen clients at a time, and they hone in and sharpen the blade on getting the best value in the marketplace. And I think that in a way, we really do act for the vendor, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, we're really, if we're going to have to choose sides, we're going to act for the person that's actually paying the bill.
Yeah,
right. And the buyer's agent, I guess, really acts for that other side. So it's pretty interesting way to look at it. We deal with a lot of buyer's agents.
Yeah. I don't know. My interpretation is the last kind of 10 years, that side of the industry's really growing as well. That buyers agents, and they're quite professional now at their services as well. So
Luke Moroney's a buyer's agent.
Some great people in that.
I think it comes back to that convenience thing as well. It's about people being time poor, people being more used to working abroad or traveling abroad. So people actually need someone to represent them and be their eyes on the ground.
And that's I guess like Luke Moroney is a fantastic example, and shout out Luke if you want to say anything about it. But it's an industry that actually wasn't even around 15, 20 years ago much at all. And now if you look at the sheer number, Luke, you'd probably be able to give us some numbers on the amount of buyers agents from a while, how much that's grown over the years. It's
sector,
competitive,
isn't it now?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, do you need a buyer's agent? This is going to be a hard one for me to answer. Do you need a buyer's agent? I think if you've got the time and you enjoy a negotiation, or you pride yourself as being a negotiator, yes.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have the time, I think that there's good value in employing them. I think a buyer's agent charging 1 or 2% these days, so it's similar to a real estate agent, but they can save you that in what they're just that negotiation
Just in
alone.
time, so many times when we come across fresh buyers, they're not as sharp with what the process is, and if you've got a buyer's agent, they know exactly what those steps are. Once you identify a property you like, they can move pretty quickly, and just that essence of timing and securing a deal is worth something to a buyer as well. So,
Well, that's right. Even losing a deal.
Yeah, that's
Sometimes,
right.
as in the way you negotiate, a buyer's agent may have that sensitivity around the deal more than someone who's doing it. I guess that if you're highly transactional, you're just going to get better at it.
Yeah.
And people aren't necessarily that are buying the property transactional in properties, buying and selling all the time, or transactional in terms of just negotiators. They may be in a different field, and that's where having a hired gun. We do it for you. So the one thing that I get surprised with is prospective purchasers or prospective sellers, people that are selling with us, that they actually don't just ask for help. I get really, really shocked that just a good old-fashioned phone call, Mark, what do you reckon? We're happy to bag the competition property. No, just joking. But when you do speak to your local real estate agents, it probably sounds awful, but they're going to point out the negatives. The actual agent that's selling the property is going to be this uber positive one, but the other agents are the ones going to be saying, yeah, but are you sure about that street? Or, oh, yeah, I know, but at that price, I'm not. They're going to give you some constructive criticism, which is not bad. As again, I'm probably steering away from core buyer's agent, but we do buyer work, and I think that's why when my daughter was asking me, she was a bit confused about, how does the buyer agent thing, how does that work? Anything else you want to add to that story?
No, I think that's about it. I think, look, if you, like you said, if you've got the time and enjoy getting out on your weekends, go for it. But if you want a quick transaction and you're a little bit unsure about the property market, they're a good avenue to look at, definitely.
But having said that, you could still find agents that could video the property for you. If you're not actually local, maybe you're living overseas, there are agents who are real estate agents who could do all of that for you.
Yep.
We could WhatsApp you. I mean, that's lots of things that we do that makes it immediate, instantaneous, and you don't necessarily have to get someone to act on your behalf in that instance.
Are there any commercial agents do that, Belinda? Or?
Of course we do.
Any?
We are the commercial agents that do that.
Fantastic.
Do you know any other?
Above
I don't.
above and beyond. Now, just also, Belinda, I want to welcome you. Officially. So Belinda is a commercial guru in the team, and something that she was with us for a couple of years and left to pursue. What did you leave for?
I went to, I don't know now, but I did go to work in stockbroking.
Stockbroking.
Yeah.
I think probably one of the smartest people I've ever met, this lady. So watch out in that commercial arena. Thank you and welcome back. And we're really excited about this space that you're covering in commercial together with the team.
I'm really excited about the space in commercial. There's so much room to grow here. Be that even in the northern beaches.
Tell us.
Okay. Commercial seems to be stuck in that dinosaur age.
Yep.
And there are just so many things that you could do to make commercial sexy.
Yep.
That's what I want to do.
That's your job.
And and I think it's not fair
That's well said.
to represent commercial properties with poor photos. No access to floor plans. What am I renting? Commercial is I find commercial is actually one of the easiest things. If you can get it right, you can nail it. And the reason is because we don't care about the green kitchen, right?
Yeah.
It's all about the numbers. So if you're an investor, it's about yield, it's about potential development, right?
Oh.
If you're an owner occupier for your business, it has to work for your business in terms of space, in terms of rental or price. That's it, right? I mean, we don't care what the facade looks like that much, we don't care about the green kitchen. So if you're going to nail it, you can nail it quite easily.
And I want to give you a working example, guys. This is one that Belinda was working on today, right? In Brookvale. in Brookvale, 2 years vacant. You're talking each year is about $150,000 for this client. Now, the first thing as an agent is you go, okay, well, you haven't rented it. It's a bit like a doctor, you feel the pulse. Let's have a look around. What happened?
So
One photo.
So we felt like it's I don't know, we don't want to talk about it, but
No.
But you know, there was no floor plan. So
No floor plan.
as a business person, if I was going to rent a space and I don't want to waste my time
No.
driving through Brookvale, right? I want to know instantly online. I mean, you've got the property online. Why don't you have a floor plan? What am I renting? Has it got offices? How is the layout of the
And
the
these
office,
guys,
right?
a prospective tenant spending 150K. This is big.
Yeah.
This is a big bloody commitment.
Yeah, and I want to see it. I want to know what it looks like inside, right?
When you're shopping,
does it work for my business?
when you're buying shoes, you're getting more information.
yes, you do.
Do you know what I mean? Like when you're buying
Yeah.
when
What
you're-
colour, what size?
Yeah, you know, and the red, the mid, big, big, small. But you know, when you're buying a property, this one here, there was not even a floor plan. There was one photo. No, there
Two
was.
of the same photos.
There was. I'm serious. This
Well,
is
in case you
normal.
wanted to
for-
see it again, you know.
This is normal for your business, and this is what you're saying about being a low-hanging fruit. So the guy has rented his property out for 2 years. He's lost about $300,000.
Wow.
There's one photo of the front of the property. The thing's 500 metres squared. This is big. This is as big as a block of land, you know, internally, and both photos are the same. So he's actually uploaded 2 photos which are identical online, and he's trying to attract a tenant of 150 grand a year.
Well, it's a valid point. I mean, look at let's just put that into context with the residential, you know, market. $450, you know, a week apartment, and you've got a floor plan, and you've got multiple photos, and you're going all out.
You've got a brochure, a glossy brochure
That's
that
right.
you can, you know, download, take away with you. Unfortunately, in the commercial world, unless you come to know that, you're not necessarily going to get that.
You got to, and that's going to put bucks on the table. So welcome, B.
Yeah.
Welcome,
Good to
welcome.
have you.
Another
Good to have you
another
back.
really exciting, pumped. You know, firecracker, watch out. Another thing I want to talk about is what we did this week with social media.
Yeah, social's been big for us lately. I mean, you always harp about it. We all harp about it week in, week out. But what happened, Mark? Tell us what happened.
3 deals done exclusively off social media in the last 7 days. Not 1, 3. So what does that mean? I'll tell you what it means. This is the biggest change I've seen in my career. It's the biggest change I've seen in my career in terms of media.
Yeah.
When I say media, I mean newspapers. When I say media, I mean radio. When I say media, I mean social media. When I say media, I mean realestate.com.au. I have seen the biggest turning point in my career this week where media has actually changed. Yeah. And I got to say, when I started tinkering with social media, and probably for the 12 months after I started tinkering with social media, there wasn't a day that went past where I thought, like, am I fucking wasting my time? You know, like I was looking at it, it was like, really? You know, it was a time killer.
Yeah.
It was a time killer. I must admit, I do enjoy it, but it was a time killer. And then we turn around, and about 6 months ago, probably 8 months ago, we start doing traction. We start getting buyer inquiries. We start getting seller inquiries.
Yeah.
And then it just was like a snowball in the last 3 to 5 months. And then doing that in 1 week, it was like, we are not going back. This is the way it's going to be for the future with marketing of properties.
Yeah, and I think if you're a consumer, I mean, right now is the golden opportunity because as more and more of this develops, you are going to see this pricing. You know, companies are smart; they know where the revenue comes from, and I think you're going to see these, you know, what's involved with pricing and delivering these services. That cost is going to jump up dramatically. So right now, if you are thinking of selling,
very good
you should be
point.
jumping on board with us straight away because we can take advantage of that. You know, before the rest of the world catches on.
That's a big point. You know, I think at the moment people are saving a lot of money.
Oh, it's great value for the dollar. What's a return on investment for that?
It's massive.
$1.
Michael just mentioned what's in newspaper. Sabine's mentioned great team. Thank you, Sabine. Lisa's doing little dances about social media because she's been doing a lot of the deals. I think that should be a queen photo on there. But it's very, very interesting, guys, and where it's going to go is even more interesting. I want to paint this picture for you guys. I want to paint this picture for you. Imagine this. You're not looking, and you see it, and you buy it. So, real estate has been. You have to be almost reactive, or should I say, you have to be proactive in real estate to find a property, i.e. tell the real estate agent what you want, go onto realestate.com, tell it what you want, and look and look and look and look. Now imagine where the world changes and you become reactive, where that property is camping on you. So I want a unit for $600 a week in DY, and next thing you know, that's all I'm getting served. That's all I'm getting served. And now people are spending 20 hours a week on social media alone, never mind Google and stuff like that on top of that.
Wow.
They're spending, I think on realestate.com, I think they're spending 37 minutes a week for the average Australian. Now they're spending a lot more time on social. Just imagine that you have that impulse and the next thing you know, you're being served. Now, it sounds foreign to us now for property, but it's been happening for 5 years with every other product.
Yeah.
You go look at that, suddenly you're looking at a power drill, and everywhere on Kogan or whatever, and everywhere you go on the internet or social media or Instagram, you start getting served up all the
or
power
a holiday
drills.
somewhere, you
Yes.
start thinking about a holiday in the Hunter Valley, and then before you know it, there's lots of Airbnb coming up with
Heaps.
Hunter Valley accommodation, so it's all targeted.
Borderline creepy. You're like, it's like, hang on a sec, how did these guys know?
I know, borderline creepy, but again, it comes back to saving time, right? I'm time poor.
Well, that's what you're interested in.
I don't want to watch ads that has nothing related to me. It's
Yep.
when you turn on the TV and you get an ad for me for a power tool. Why do I want to watch an ad for a power tool?
You have to.
I want to watch an ad for shoes, right? So
And next thing you know, you're getting that served up. So what we're consuming or our consumption online is tailored to our personality. Get this, everything you're seeing on your handset of your phone is your own channel. That has been tailored for you in 2019. In 2019, what's coming across on your laptop and what's coming across on your computer is the Steve Bubbelow interests. Is the Blender Chew interest. What you will see on my phone is not what you would see on yours or yours. So now we're going that extra step in the real estate industry, and we're tailoring that to you.
Yeah.
And then we don't actually realise, but we think by putting content on realestate.com that we're going to be attracting that particular person. What about if realestate.com is only attracting the people that want to be attracted, as in they've put their hand up in the air? What about the people that haven't put their hand up in the air but really, really want to rent a property for $600 a week?
Yeah.
Or really, really want to buy a property for $1 million? Imagine that. Next thing you know, it's coming up. It's a freaky world, guys. It's a freaky world.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. So I've also got, let's have a look. Michael Burgess, have you got any other questions out there, buddy? Shoot them out. Sonia, how are you? What a legend. Big supporter. And everyone, hello out there. I think have anyone you guys got anything else to add for our news?
Yeah, I was just going to give a quick auction wrap up. So I saw some interesting numbers this week, and just to see how the market's reacting. So both the major cities, I'll say, in Australia, Sydney and Melbourne, had good weeks. 522 properties went to auction last weekend, as opposed to 313 the week before. Preliminary clearance rates coming back at 74%. On that, so generally they're quite high to start with, but you'll see them settle. But that's up from 56% the week before. So there's been a real increase in activity, as opposed to a year ago. We had 522 properties going on last weekend. This time last year, 708. So you had more selection last year, but at the time, 49% clearance. So our clearance rates are up, an extra 25% roughly, and that's reflected across the Melbourne markets as well. So looking forward to a busy end of the second half of this year with the property markets.
They're big numbers. Can I have those numbers again, Steve? How many?
Definitely.
So
The number of homes to market this year, last week, 522.
No.
522. The week prior, 313.
Wow.
So there was an increase. And look, we had the long weekend the week before, so maybe a lot of people held off and decided to bring it this week. But the big one that stands out to me is for this time last year, 708. So an extra 180 properties this time last year with 50% selling. This time, we've got 522 with 75% selling. So
Yeah, right. They're big numbers. Luke Moroney, you've got a pretty chunky question that you've just asked about commercial and
that's a good
about
one.
residential. Which one's better? My suggestion for the advanced investor or the commercial. For the basic investor and even a beginner investor, residential. You need to put in twice as much of a deposit for a commercial property than you do for a residential property. What does that mean? It means I'm buying something for $1 million commercial. I need to put down about 350,000. In some cases, 400,000. Say 350. I'm buying a residential, and I don't want to take out mortgage insurance, which is that insurance where they whack you.
Yeah.
It's 20%. So 200 grand. So 200 grand compared to 400 grand is a lot of bloody money. So you really need to be a bit more an advanced investor, because for every $2 you put in, you're getting half as much back. Do you know what I mean? So it's double as intensive. Belinda, you're a figures person.
I think Michael's just come back.
Michael's going to give you a breakdown. You know what Michael will also do? He'll put a video in for you, which actually covers
he
that
does have
commercial.
that
There's a really
video,
good
yeah.
video on that, Luke, which you'll love. But I guess so that's equity, the amount of deposit you're putting in, getting the loan. The vacancy sometimes can sting you a bit hard, but the beautiful thing with commercial is the yield.
Yes.
So that amount of money coming in per year.
Yeah.
Residential, we're sitting at about 4.5%. So that means if it's $1 million, that your return's going to be maybe $900 a week. Whereas in commercial, if it's $1 million, your return's going to be more like $1,300 a week, $1,400 a week. Gets towards that 7%.
and your lease term's obviously much
Yeah,
longer.
much longer.
and-
Yeah. So with your tenancy, you're going to get like a 3+3, sometimes a 5+5. So it's very long
Yeah.
leases.
Yeah.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
It is, Sonia. It's a very big difference. Jump on Michael's Facebook. He's giving himself a plug. I don't blame him. Luke Moroney, definitely not a basic man, a very advanced man, and a very, very good question. And I reckon that's it. Guys, one thing to watch just in this property market, I want to give you a special piece of advice, is go onto realestate.com, write Northern Beaches, have a look what comes up for sale. It's interesting. Go into realestate.com, write Northern Beaches, have a look what comes up for sale when you write Northern Beaches. It's interesting. The stock levels is what I want you to pay the attention to.
Yeah.
The stock levels 6 months ago, we were sitting on 700 to 800 properties on the Northern Beaches. Sorry, 1,150 properties. There, thanks, B.
1127.
1127 on
In
the
November.
market in November. Now,
Just this weekend, 689. So it's even less than last week, which was
Wow.
at, over 700.
wow. So there's
yeah.
half the amount of properties for
Yeah,
sale
that's
at the
interesting.
moment on realestate.com.au. I still don't believe people are leaving realestate.com.au to go to social media to sell, but it is interesting that that's a big number. There's half the amount of properties for sale. For me, that's good for price increases.
And then you put in the clearance rate of 71.7 for the
Good.
Northern Beaches as well. Then you've got that pinch, right?
Yep.
Because the pinch is you've got a lack of stock and
Yep.
you've got a massive spike on clearance rate.
Yep.
So if you were going to sell, I mean, this would be it, right?
massive.
Because this is where there's a buyer market
Yep.
out there because the stuff is clearing.
Yep.
But yet you have a lack of stock. So
It's a big one. Now, another one I want you to watch is for lease properties, Northern Beaches. Okay, you go onto realestate.com.
Yeah, it's a good one.
You write Northern Beaches where it says for lease, and what comes up this time about 6 months ago, you had 800 properties come up when you did that search. Sorry, 500 properties come up when you did that search. Now you've got 800. There's 50% more properties
Wow.
for rent at the moment on realestate.com.
I never
than there
knew that.
was.
I never even thought to check that, but that's interesting.
It's a big number.
Yeah.
I've got to give Mr. Bergio the credit for those numbers as
Well
well.
done, Michael.
He runs those numbers weekly and sends them out enthusiastically together with Belinda. We've been running the numbers for 4 years. If you want to have a chat with him, often the Manly Daily calls us to have a chat about those numbers because for some reason we're the only guys that run them. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Good night.
Hopefully it helped you. And before we wrap up with any crazy questions, Lisa Novak, there's quite a few off-market deals. It's true. Social media, absolutely. Michael Burgess says it was $598 in 2017. Now it's over $1,000 in 2019. I think you may be talking about rentals there, Michael. But the rental bus went well. Thanks for the question. We're doing it so well. We're doing it again, and we're not doing it next 4 weeks. I reckon it's going to be something that's going to stick around for a long time.
idea.
Nice convenience. Love you guys. Take care. Thank you for watching.
See you soon.
Guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers. See ya.